Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're talking about why this console generation has been one of the most frustrating in gaming history. Ever since the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series consoles launched in 2020, this generation has been filled with price increases, studio closures, cancelled AAA games, controversial business decisions, and uncertainty about the future. And if things continue down this path, the next generation could be even more challenging. Let's get into it. Microsoft's rollercoaster generation. Microsoft came into this generation making some of the biggest acquisitions gaming has ever seen, purchasing Bethesda and later Activision Blizzard. Those deals gave Xbox control over huge franchises like Call of Duty, Fallout, The Elder Scrolls, and Doom. At the same time, Xbox heavily invested in Game Pass, a subscription service often compared to the Netflix of gaming, allowing players to access a large library of games, including many first-party releases, for one monthly fee. But despite those massive investments, Microsoft also made controversial decisions. In 2024, Xbox began bringing some first-party games to PlayStation and Nintendo systems. What started as an experiment with a handful of titles eventually expanded into a broader multi-platform strategy. Many fans questioned the move because Xbox exclusives had always been one of the biggest reasons to own an Xbox console. Phil Spencer, who took over Xbox in 2014, spent years rebuilding the brand through acquisitions and Game Pass. Sarah Bond also became one of Xbox's most recognizable executives and helped launch the "This is an Xbox" marketing campaign, which emphasized that Xbox games could be played across many different devices. While the campaign highlighted accessibility, some longtime fans felt it shifted attention away from the Xbox console itself. Microsoft also faced major layoffs and studio closures during this generation. Several projects were cancelled, including Perfect Dark, leaving many fans disappointed after years of anticipation. Game Pass also became more expensive, adding to growing frustration among players. Later, Xbox leadership changed, bringing new direction and renewed focus on console exclusives. Upcoming games such as Gears of War, E-Day and Clockwork Revolution signaled a stronger emphasis on giving players reasons to own Xbox hardware once again. Whether that strategy succeeds remains to be seen, but it's a significant shift from where Xbox started this generation. Sony also experienced its share of challenges. After acquiring Bungie in 2022, PlayStation doubled down on live service games under then CEO Jim Ryan. The goal was ambitious, but it didn't work out the way Sony hoped. One of the biggest examples was Concord, a multiplayer hero shooter that struggled to gain player interest. Following a difficult launch, the game shut down shortly afterward, and the studio behind it was eventually closed. Sony also cancelled several other live service projects, showing just how difficult it is to break into a market already dominated by established games. PlayStation also expanded onto PC during this generation. While some PC players welcomed the move, others questioned whether releasing PlayStation exclusives elsewhere reduced the value of owning a PlayStation console. Sony later adjusted its strategy by placing greater emphasis on keeping its major single-player franchises closely associated with PlayStation. Perhaps the most controversial discussion surrounding PlayStation has been the future of physical games. Digital game sales have steadily increased over the past decade, and many analysts have predicted an all-digital future for years. We've already seen this happen in other industries. Music shifted from CDs to digital downloads through services like iTunes before eventually moving to streaming. Movies followed a similar path as Netflix and other streaming platforms replaced video rental stores like Blockbuster. Physical DVDs and Blu-rays also declined as retailers reduced shelf space or stopped carrying them altogether. Gaming appears to be heading in the same direction. Whether players like it or not, digital purchases continue to represent a growing share of game sales. Many collectors remain concerned about preserving physical ownership, while others appreciate the convenience of digital libraries. It's a debate that continues to divide the gaming community. Another growing concern is cost. Games now regularly launch at higher prices than they did just a few years ago. Subscription services have become more expensive. Accessories cost more. Consoles themselves have increased in price in several regions. There are also concerns that future consoles could become significantly more expensive due to rising development costs, inflation, supply chain challenges, and tariffs that may affect imported electronics. If that happens, gaming could become less accessible for many families. This generation has delivered some fantastic games, but it's also been defined by layoffs, cancelled projects, rising prices, shifting business strategies, studio closures, and ongoing debates about digital ownership. The next generation may bring exciting new technology, but it will also face many of these same challenges. The question is whether Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo can learn from the mistakes of this generation and rebuild consumer confidence. So what do you think? Has this been the most disappointing console generation you've experienced? And what do you think the PS6 and the next Xbox generation will look like? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss another upload. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.